Jana.
Well, the government will stay open at least for 2 more weeks. The shutdown averted for now, but the battle over the budget is far from over. The White House is now proposing $6 billion in extra spending cuts as it begins to negotiate with congressional leaders. The administration isn't saying, though, where those cuts would come from, and it's a fraction of the $61 billion that House Republicans want cut from the budget. Our next guest lived through the 1990s budget battles in Congress and recently returned to the U.S. Senate. Indiana Senator Dan Coats is a Republican. Thanks for joining us today, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so again, everybody seems to say that entitlements are where the real reforms need to be, and whether you're cutting $6 billion or $61 billion from the budget, it doesn't really cure the problem. What do you say?
Well, I agree with that. $1.6 trillion deficit, and the White House proposing a $6 billion cut. It's a drop in the ocean. This doesn't begin to address the problem that we have. And it's time for the president to step up and provide a lot stronger leadership on this question. We can't get there without his leadership. We're not getting that now. Just do the math. 1.6 trillion, $6 billion of cuts is not going to begin to do the job.
Well, the White House doesn't seem to like even the $61 billion cut plan. You're asking the president to step up and show leadership. You don't expect him to propose massive cuts, do you?
Unfortunately, it's not so much a question of massive cuts. The question is, how do we dig ourselves out of this hole that is so deep in terms of deficit spending and debt? We need to lay a plan in place so we know we have a path going forward. And the president hasn't suggested any kind of a plan or any kind of a path at which we can look to moving in the right direction and getting our country back to fiscal health. This is not going to occur all at once. It's not going to occur just by taking 12 or 15% of the budget and taking some whacks at it this year. We have to look at a several-year period of time to move away from deficit spending and move toward a fiscal balance, and that takes presidential leadership.
Talking about money arguments, there's a big one in the NFL right now. I know that in Indiana you have a team called the Colts that everybody's pretty interested in. You've written a letter to the NFL and the Players Association. What do you want to see?
I want to see a settlement. You know, in Indianapolis, we're preparing for the 2012 Super Bowl. Hundreds and thousands of people have been engaged in this. A great deal of money is being spent. It's not just for that, though. Here you have a league that is prosperous. You have very wealthy owners. You have players that are set for life. There's enough money to go around. I'm glad that they're extending their talks. I think they should continue to resolve this. But for the interest of the fans, they're not going to get fan support or sympathy from either side for either the owners or the players. They want to see football being played. We want to see a Super Bowl in 2012 in Indianapolis. And we want this huge pot of money that's available to divide it up between the players and the owners and get on with it.
Senator, thanks for being with us. We will be right back. Senator Dan Coats, Republican of Indiana.
With diabetes, it's tough to keep life balanced. I don't always have